Welcome to Purpose and Excellence. Many of us think when we have our choice ride, choice roof over our head, choice food and vacation, a little money tucked away in the bank, we have arrived. This is success. And the truth is, well, not entirely. And we always find it to be success because we work so hard to get there. And God forbid that we'll lose it. My name is Modesta Lillian Mogoni, and I'm here to tell you there is more to life than having things, although things are also very nice. In Purpose and Excellence, we're going to debunk so many myths of what we think is life and success and significance. I want to pose this question to you. Have you noticed that so many billionaires actually start giving away their money after a while? I mean, they have a choice of everything that money can afford. Why are they giving away the wealth? They're in pursuit of something greater than just having things. So many people are plugging into what they find now would give them purpose, more than their initial pursuit of money. So what is this thing called purpose? Purpose is defined as the reason why anything is created, is done, or exists. So for instance, when you see a stove and you ask, what is the purpose of this thing? You're basically asking, why was a stove created? Or when you look at the sun, you're thinking, what is the purpose of the sun? You're basically asking, why does the sun exist? And so just as things are, so with you. You exist for purpose. You exist to fulfill the purpose that God created you for. When you achieve the purpose for which God created you, the outcome of achieving purpose is success. Success is the fulfillment of purpose. And so a lot of people pursue things in life so that they can be successful. But the truth is, if they pursued purpose, they would find success along the way. And so you don't come to earth looking for a job. You come to earth because you have a job to do. You were given something to do before you were even in your mother's womb. God predestined you to fulfill a specific purpose. You don't come to earth chasing money. You come to fulfill your purpose, and money comes and chases you. Now you're thinking, oh, Modesta, you're getting a little cocky. Let me give you this example. There's a story of a girl. You might know this story. Her name is Esther. Esther was an orphan girl who lived with her uncle in a foreign country. Now, this country was ruled by a king, and this king just recently divorced his wife, and he's looking, to have another queen. And he asked for all the eligible maidens in the land, to come up and, present themselves. They took about a year's preparation. And I'm telling you, in pursuit of purpose, there will be a lot of preparation. And so in this time, Esther goes through the regimen, and she's found to be the most eligible maiden in the land. And so she's married by the king. So Esther's found to be the most eligible maiden in the land, and she marries the king, becomes queen. Now, as queen, she comes across a little trouble. A certain leader under the king has an ego bigger than the room I'm in. And he wants everybody to bow down to him. But Esther's uncle, Mordecai, refuses to bow down to him. This guy gets so mad, not only does he decree that Mordecai needs to be punished for this, he decides his entire people, the Jewish people, must be put away. And so we recount this story under Esther chapter 4, verses 13 to 17. And Mordecai goes to Esther and says, look, are people going to die? You need to do something. Tell the king to do something, that this guy is crazy, he's going to annihilate us. And Esther says, you know what, I know I'm queen, but there are rules here, and you can't just go before the king unless you've been summoned, and he hasn't asked for me in 3 months, and so I can't do anything about it. And Mordecai says, Esther, maybe you don't know the purpose for which you were created. Of course, this is me paraphrasing. But he says, you are queen, you're the person in a position. Who knows that you came into this position for such a time as this to save the people? And Esther kind of wakes up to a purpose. She was always seen as the most beautiful girl in the land, the most powerful, married to the most powerful man. She had all the wealth, the riches, everything. But with everything she had, Esther kind of forgot that there was more to life than what she currently had. And so Esther decides, okay, I'm going to fast, I'm going to pray, you do the same thing, I'll go to the king. If I die, I die, but you know what? I finally know what my purpose is, and I will fulfill it. To cut the long story short, Esther goes, the king agrees, the bad guy is killed instead of all the Jews, and everybody lives happily ever after. But what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is, when you do not know your purpose, you can underuse or overuse it. Simply, you can abuse it and allow other people to abuse you too. You must know why the Creator created you. You're here to serve a specific purpose. You will do very well by doing good, because actually wealth and prosperity come in the package of fulfilling purpose. More on that another day. And so you're thinking, okay, this whole purpose, okay, it sounds nice, but what's the big deal? What if I'm just pursuing money and I just want to live life? Why do I have to think about purpose? Well, these are the pitfalls of not living a life of purpose. Number one, you might be looking for something to do when you actually do have something to do. Esther could have thought, orphaned in a foreign country, who am I? What on earth is there that I can do? You came to earth because you had something to do. It's kind of like sending somebody off on a business trip and they get there and they start looking for something to do. I think you'll call them back and say, you crazy, I sent you with something specific. And that's for us as well. God created us for something specific to do. The second pitfall of living a life without purpose is that you might actually be so mad, so disenchanted, so frustrated about your past, thinking, what good could somebody like me ever do on earth? Maybe you came from poverty. Maybe you were discriminated against. Maybe you don't have the education you wished you had, or you see other people and think that's an advantage to them. All of those things about you that you think, truly my weaknesses, my past, make me amount to nothing significant. Your experiences and your life circumstances are exactly what God will use for your next breakthrough, for your fulfillment of purpose. And the third pitfall of not living a life of purpose is that you might actually think you've arrived. You've done a little here, you've achieved a title or something, you've got some money in the bank, and you think, I'm sorted, what does purpose have to do with me? But you know what? Whenever you live in pursuit of purpose, it's always far grander, much larger than anything you have ever conceived for yourself, anything you have ever achieved for yourself. So yeah, you've done a little, that's nice for you, but guess what? There's more. So when you go to God and you say, well, you know what, when I lived on earth, I did a thing or two. He goes, yeah, that was nice, but you kind of moved at this level and I was expecting you to a whole lot more. And so when you take the time to turn to Him and ask Him, why am I here? And I want to do to the utmost what you have called me to do, you would be surprised as to what God has put in you to serve the world around you, and how much the world is completely lost without you fulfilling your purpose to the full. So here's a good part. You can start out on a journey in pursuit of purpose. So what I'd like you to do, find a quiet time when you can have about 30 minutes. You probably do more, but 30 minutes is a good start. Get a pen and paper if it's tablets, but I usually prefer pen and paper. And sit down, ask God, who am I and why on earth did you create me? And then start reflecting on your life. Ask yourself, what kind of things did I like? Or have I liked, since childhood? What kind of things do I find easy? What do people come to me for, whether it's family or friends? And in terms of things that get to me, what makes me really mad? What are some of the things that I think if I had the power, if I was in the position, I would do this to change life for people, or I would do this to develop, those around me. And that kind of thought process, that reflection, gets you started on discovering your purpose. So here's how to look out for purpose in your day-to-day life. It'll help you as purpose unfolds. Daily, ask yourself, before you embark on anything that day, this thing that I want to do right now, what does this have to do with my purpose? That's one tip. And usually you think, oh, well, this is very much in fulfillment of purpose. Or you look at it and say, actually, nothing much is just going to waste my time. The second tip, whatever you want to do, ask yourself, why? Why do I want to do this? When you get an answer, ask yourself again, why? Keep asking yourself until you filter down and you realize, well, it's in fulfillment of purpose. Purpose is always about serving people. So I want to do something to serve people, to make a difference in the world. The third thing to look at is when you find there isn't a link between what you want to do and your purpose, ask yourself if you want to do it for a significant relationship. And so there is someone else who would really want you engaged in this thing, and it doesn't derail you from your purpose, then go ahead and do it. Because you know what? Fulfilling relationships is also part and parcel of making sure that you invest in your purpose. Your relationships, work, business, influence in this world will never be the same when you start and finish everything with fulfilling purpose in mind. I mean, your gifts and talents will be served to this world and you will be richly rewarded for this. As the legendary Dr. Miles Monroe said, the greatest tragedy in life is not death. The greatest tragedy in life is living a life without purpose. But as Jesus did in John 17, when he was about to submit his work in fulfillment of purpose, you, my friend, will complete to the last detail that which God prepared you to do. You will, by the time you check out of this world, have lived a life of purpose, a life of excellence, and a life of legacy. Until the next time I meet you at Purpose and Excellence, Kwaheri.